I run engineering for storage, for network, and for cloud services.
Okay, yeah. Because I know this company here, iON, they're speaking with Google right now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instant upload kind of stuff.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, YouTube is amazing. We do the engineering for all the distribution of YouTube video.
Oh, you do that?
Unbelievable.
Okay.
That's the network part of it, yeah.
Gotcha.
The external network is just amazing.
What a monster that is.
Unbelievable. You'd be surprised what percentage, what fraction of the entire internet's bandwidth is from YouTube.
Unreal. Unreal.
I mean, it's not 20, but it's a lot more than that.
Oh, I can imagine, yeah. I actually can't imagine, but it must be big. All right, Ari, so nice and smooth, and build up our speed gradually, right? go. Keep going. Better every time. Full throttle. Good session, Ari.
Let's get better. I'm getting a feel for it.
Absolutely.
Not getting the turns right all the time, but
Not every time, but it's getting better and better. One thing, just before I forget, on the front straightaway, after you cross start finish,
yeah.
you're too anxious to get over too early.
Okay.
To that wall. I want you to wait. Stay to the extreme right side longer before you get over to that wall.
Okay.
Because you're getting away with it because you're not carrying a ton of speed on the front straightaway.
Oh, okay.
But when you go faster, when you start going faster, the proper line is to stay longer over to the right before
the first kink or the second kink?
The second kink.
The second kink. Okay.
Yeah, second kink going up into one there. You know, right
okay.
at the wall, and basically with that, the tendency is to have it draw you in early, that wall there, to apex that wall. But just stay like give yourself another 1/1000 count over and staying over to the right before you start pulling steering angle over to that wall. Okay. And that'll set you up perfect. That'll set you up really good for one. And then still want you to shift later for that fork to third downshift by the bridge.
Okay.
You're getting there, but you're still way early shifting. Okay. Yeah. So give yourself another, like, if I could tell you, a 1/1000 count, like where you were shifting, give it another 1/1000 count before you shift again, and that'll make you shift right at the bridge, under the bridge. So it's like under the bridge, quick shift, fourth to third, and on the gas up the hill, right?
Okay.
But that was really good, that session. I thought, a lot of stuff was faster than you've ever been through 5. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry to push your leg, but I want you to. I'm all about getting you faster.
Yeah.
Because I know, if I know I have confidence in you, there's things that I would just make you do. I'm just gonna make you do it, right? And that was cool because you're finally getting to the limiter of third, the top of third gear at that last lap there. So now, knowing that, next time you go out, get into that limiter maybe one more time just for good measure, and then start grabbing fourth gear out of turn 4, right? Just grab fourth early and then start building fourth gear all the way up and over and down the carousel. Okay. Third gear works better for you in the S's right now. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
Third gear kind of keeps the car more platformed for you right now. As you start picking up more speed, you're doing really good. You're getting better and better in the S's there in third gear. So now, as you progress further, you're going to use fourth through the S's.
I have to tell you, so on the last, which one is it? Is it before 10? Twice I started braking while I was still turning, and you could feel it.
In a corner, you're braking in a corner.
You can't
Scary.
do that. No.
See, another thing you learn without any consequences, which is great.
Yeah.
See, now you realize, because when you get on the brakes, think about...
I know. All goes forward, and then...
Right. Weight transfers in an X when you're in a corner, right? Diagonally, right? From right rear to left front, from left rear to right front. So you don't want to be asking for brake in the middle of a corner.
No.
You want to just hang in there, and if anything, you could breathe a little bit off the gas, and that'll represent your braking.
Right.
But even that, you never want to do a big lift in the middle of the corner, because if you do a big lift off the throttle, you unload the whole car. If you do a breathe off the throttle, you still have the car quite loaded. You can get away with a little breathe, and that's enough to be your brakes, right?
Got it.
But stabbing the brake pedal is a no good deal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which you learn, you learn.
Yeah.
And you know, basically, I would say in 8A there through 9, you know, you're doing a great job pulling 3rd to 4th gear out of the 8A exit, you know, that blind 8A. You're grabbing 4th now. Eventually, you should be carrying 4th. Like earlier today, you were grabbing 4th, and we were rolling it through the S's in 4th all the way. But you weren't having it. You didn't have a ton of speed and momentum built up, so you were getting away with it. Now your speed's at the point where it's sort of a toss-up whether or not you should stay in 3rd through the S's, or maybe you should just stay less busy and be in 4th and just roll 4th all the way through there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know, if you want to try that, you can just go into 4th early before the access road, and then you'll have the car will be a little bit more settled maybe, and when you get back on the gas, on and off the gas, it's not going to dart the weight as much because you're in a taller gear.
Yeah.
Like 3rd, being on and off the gas, that kind of squats it and dives it. So 4th is more of a forgiving gear to be in, and you can gradually work your momentum up, and you'd be less busy because you have both hands on the wheel, don't have to worry about shifting. You get all your shifts done out of 7 up to from 2nd to 3rd to 4th, then you're done all the way down to 11, right? Then 3rd to 2nd, right? So you could try that on our next session if you want, you know. And then, so what I'd like to accomplish before the end of the day, which I think we only have one more session, is shifting a little bit later still by the bridge. So
the whole line through the bridge, I need to spend some time on.
Need to refine a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's understandable. That's the toughest, one of the toughest corners on this track, that whole 1 section, because ideally if you're at the skill level that like I'm at, I wish I could shift all the way past the bridge up the hill and no problem and get in there and go, right? But when you're learning, it's better to get it done early. Like that's why I say at the bridge is probably the best case scenario. As you progress on as a driver, you'd find yourself carrying more speed longer in 4th gear up underneath the bridge, and then going to 3rd with not a lot of braking at all and just turning it and going. Like you probably won't even have any braking at the limit. Your braking will be your downshift and then turn in and go for 2. When you're there, you know, you're not there yet. So part of my job is to coach you and get you better, but a big part of my job is to keep you safe. So I'm very, very decisive on what I'll allow you to know and what I will allow you to do, so that you don't get in over your head and make the big mistake and then be dejected for the day of driving, right? We always want to go away on a positive note, and so far you've progressed in every session, and that's first time meeting you and progressing that way. There's no better way. So
you got a second when you're done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.